Welcome back to another episode of Dimensional Soul Healing with your host, Gracen. Today we're going to talk about how I started my spiritual practice and how you guys can start yours as well if this is your kind of field that you're wanting to work in for yourself one day. So it all started when I got my first past life regression, and it was so intense. I can remember all of these heavy emotions coming up, and I didn't have any memory of it at all. It was just, I could feel just the heaviness of it, the sadness, the grief, the trauma. And so I thought to myself, wow, this is so powerful. Past life regressions are extremely powerful. And it was really interesting because this particular past lifetime was affecting me physiologically. It was affecting my bladder, and I've always had issues growing up with my bladder, and Western medicine could never figure it out. And so I was like, wow, this completely fixed my bladder issues. Oh my gosh, this is incredible healing, And then I started going down this rabbit hole of okay, what can I do to completely get rid of all the trapped emotions within my energy? And then it just it was one thing that led to another. And so I would say the biggest thing that helped me get started with my practice was this one medium. First of all, I had her channel what my purpose was, because at that point in my awakening and, where I was at in my journey, I could not channel super well, and I had a lot of healing I still had to do in order to start accessing my psychic abilities. And she told me that my purpose was to heal and teach others how to heal themselves. I had this unique ability to basically heal people and teach people how to heal themselves. And so I was like, okay, I don't know how I'm going to do that, but okay. So anyway, and then I had this one medium tell me to ask my spirit guides and my higher self to put in messages in this crystal for me. It was a blue apatite crystal. And they told me to send all their messages there so that way I could sleep with it overnight, and then also I could meditate with it twice a day. So I started doing that, and it was one thing just led to another. And I want to say that this has been a marathon of a journey. It has not something that has happened overnight. This is something that has taken me a couple of years to perfect. So, don't be too hard on yourself. If you're looking to start your own spiritual business, I'm telling you, just keep going one step at a time. Don't lose faith in yourself. Stay confident, build your confidence. And you can build your confidence by focusing on one thing at a time. Focus on one thing, master it, and then keep doing that. And then eventually you're going to create your own, conglomeration of spiritual healing. And then you're going to feel super good. So anyways, and then, I remember picking up my crystal one day, and I had this inner, strong inner feeling of getting into feng shui. I had no idea what feng shui was, but I was I have this obsessive feeling I need to research what feng shui is. And so that led me to learning about the balance of feminine and masculine energies. It was the balance of two. I mean, there was so many different things to it. And that led me to healing the feminine and the masculine energy within myself. And so then I started going within and okay, how can I heal this within myself? And then, it was just one thing led to another. It was I would be drawn to one thing after I felt I mastered the previous thing that I was drawn to. And so now it's this conglomeration of different healing modalities that have combined just from listening to my intuition and doing my own healing self, my healing journey on myself. And so, you guys have the ability to speak out into the universe, and, when you're ready for your next step, just ask for that, and that's all I've been doing. Just asking for my next step. I've been programming my water to match my highest self reality, which I'm going to talk about that in a future podcast episode. But you guys are the creators of your own lives. You are creators. You're not victims to your life. You are the creator. So every day you have the conscious choice to choose something different or to change something if you know or feel it isn't serving you anymore. And that's going to help you. Going through those obstacles, going through those, healing journeys, whether you're journaling and you've got this deep unpacking of, reconfiguring what love is for you, or you're, working on your financial wounds, whatever it is, just take it day by day, and, towards the end of your week, start reflecting and say, wow, like, I'm so proud of myself for making this small difference. This was a small win for me. I mastered how to perfect this yoga pose. Okay, for example, if you're a yoga instructor and you're wanting to start your own business, take one pose at a time and master it, get really intimate with it, learn it frontwards, backwards. And I would study all the different healing benefits that come with each pose that you work on. And then you're just going to make this whole like amazing, healing thing out of just the yoga itself. And then you can start incorporating other things that you start getting drawn to, right? Let's see, what's another good example? Okay, yeah, if you make jewelry, if you're somebody who is super creative and artistic in that aspect and you create jewelry and you're like, how the heck am I supposed to expand this? Like, I don't even know where to begin. Start with, perfecting one technique and then work on different techniques, and you'll start branching out, and you just have to have faith in yourself. You have to have faith that that first step or the next couple of steps, those baby steps, are going to take you to a giant step, which is going to like propel you so much moving forward. And I feel like it's really easy to lose hope, like when you're trying to go the business direction, like that entrepreneurship direction, because we all want things to happen overnight. Like, we all want to access financial freedom overnight. We all want to get out of our matrix jobs and, basically fuck off from the rest of the world. But it's like when you are, where you're at right now, if you are working a matrix job, right? If you're in the system, start using everything and everyone as a mirror. And you're going to start excelling very, very rapidly, okay? I want you guys to take note of things that trigger you throughout your day, throughout your week, throughout your month, and just like I'm going to call this a trigger list. Make a trigger list and just go write down everything that pisses you the fuck off, whether it's a person, something somebody said to you, doesn't matter. Just go write it down. And then go revisit that. Go revisit it, I would say, like once a week, And if you're feeling like going above and beyond, go revisit it every day. And just be like, why did this piss me off? Why did this make me so angry? And usually anger is an emotion that's teaching us how to set boundaries, right? In order to have a successful running business, you need to master setting boundaries, okay? Because even your loved ones will push you to your limit, and, they may be unconscious that they're doing it, but it's really, really important that you guys master setting boundaries in a loving way. It doesn't have to be rude or disrespectful, but, if you have people-pleasing tendencies and you're not good at setting boundaries right now, you're going to have a really hard time having a successful running business, because running a business takes a lot of energy, and you have to know how to have good self-care routines for yourself. You have to know your limits. You have to know your boundaries. You have to honor your boundaries. There's just like a lot of stuff that goes into that we don't even consider. A lot of us are so focused on the idea of the kind of business that we want to run that we're not focusing on our self-care routine. We're not focusing on our boundaries. We're not focusing on the self-love that needs to be prioritized first before anything else, because you're going to have to prioritize yourself first before you start dealing with a bunch of clients, right? Otherwise, you're just going to get exhausted, depleted, burnt out, and, your business, I don't want to say it's going to fail, but, it's going to be a high possibility like that it doesn't end up working out, because you didn't set those hard boundaries with yourself. You could have a steady clientele, and, you have a client that wants to come do an hour private session with you, right? And you could be doing an hour private session of like a self-painting portrait or a yoga class or, just a channeling session. It doesn't really matter what it is, but for whatever reason, you go past the hour, and here you are 3-4 hours later, like still with that same person, because you didn't honor yourself. You didn't honor your own boundaries, right? And so the client is still going to pay the same price of what you advertised, right? Because they were like, well, I'm only paying what you charged me for, which is this hour. It was your choice to go over time. And so just being aware of things like that is really going to make a difference for you. And it's really, really important that no matter whatever you guys have as an idea and, your business is floundering, I just want to say a couple of things. One, figure out what it is that you want to do and just start with one thing. It doesn't have to be done all at once. I wish somebody would have told me that when I got started with my stuff, because I felt like I was all over the place and I just want to do so many things. So just start with one thing, right? So when I first started my sessions, I started with chakra balancing and healing, going into the chakras, going into past lifetimes, removing etheric parasites. That was just something that was just easy and almost natural for me. It was I automatically knew how to do that kind of thing. And so it was the more I did healing sessions, the more I did healing on myself, the more stuff I discovered to add to my healing sessions. And that's what built my practice up to this day. So whatever y'all's idea is, just start with that one idea, okay? I got certified in yoga, so we're just going to use the yoga example. Okay, so say, for example, you want to have a successful yoga business, okay? What's the first thing that you need to figure out? Everybody that has yoga certificates, licenses, whatever, they all teach a certain thing. Some of them teach vinyasa flows. Some of them teach yin flows. It's just everyone has their own teaching method. And it's what idea do you have that you can bring to the table that is unique to you, that is unique and that can heal a majority of people all at once? What is your target audience? What kind of people do you want to bring in? That's the second thing. Who's your target audience? What audience are you creating for this healing business, right? Do you want to reach Gen Z? Do you want to reach millennials? Do you want to reach Gen X? Do you want to reach boomers? Start with one generation, I would say. It's easy to go off of generations because you can look at the differences and the contrasts and, advertise specifically for each generation, differently. So anyway, that's a whole other thing. And then once you figure out your target audience, then figure out, okay, is what I want to do, is there any way in the future that I can automate this business and where I can get to a point where someone's going to work for this business and I can scale it to the point of becoming financially free, And so that's a whole other episode I could get into on, but those are just some things to think about, because you don't want to waste all of your time working and working and working. You want to, make some time for yourself and have people work for you at some point. But again, you have to have patience. You have to understand that things take time to marinate, to cook, to incubate. You yourself are incubating, you're cooking. You are still, a work in progress, and you're going to blossom. You're going to become successful. But you, like I said, are the creator, and you're the only person that's in charge of expediting that process, of speeding it up or taking it slow. And sometimes you have to take it slow, and sometimes you can speed it up. But that really just depends on your habits that you form, your motivation, your discipline, your will. How bad do you want your energy healing business that you want to create for yourself? How bad do you want it? How bad do you want to get out of the matrix and work for yourself and become financially free? How bad? If you want it bad enough, you're going to take the necessary steps in order to get out of that position, right? When shit gets so bad for us in life, we get to a point where we're I can't do this anymore, and something's got to give, something's got to change. And it's when things get so bad that we all of a sudden want to make that drastic change. Don't wait until things get so bad. You don't have to. Make that drastic change today. Do 1% something else different every day. 1% difference. Make your bed every morning. That's a 1% change. Getting up and drinking water when you first wake up. That's a 1% change. You're hydrating your body. You're adding energy into your body first thing. Y'all remember that ATP thing? What is it? The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Yeah. Drinking water gives you more ATP. So, I was a biology chemistry major, so I can tell you about all those things. Anyway, but yeah, do something differently for yourself every day, and those things are going to stack. They're going to stack subconsciously, and then one day you're not even going to be thinking about those habits that you're doing, right? Like, set yourself up for success. What's a good morning and evening routine that you can follow right now while you're in the system that is going to set you up for success when you exit it and go full time into your energy healing business, right? Like, because when you leave that matrix job and you lose that structure per se, like, you have to create that structure for yourself. Like, you have to develop somewhat of a routine in the morning and the evening. You have to develop a work routine. You know, you have to take charge of that. You create that. You're a creator. You know, the matrix isn't creating that for you. The matrix is very rigid, and it's like, you do this when I say so, you know? So, yeah. Anyway, I feel like I went on a long tangent. So, back to how I got started with my spiritual practice. So, yeah, I had a lot of entrepreneurs in my family, and I don't know, building business has just felt so natural for me. Like, it's just felt very easy for me, and it's just a matter of doing simple research to do little things for myself. Like, you guys, I didn't even know how to work Audacity. I didn't even know how to work a microphone. I didn't even know how to create meditations. I didn't know how to do any of that stuff, you guys. What got me here is my willpower, my motivation, my habits, my faith in myself, and my drive, right? This ambitiousness of, fuck the matrix. I'm fucking done, you know, working in it. I need to be here creating stuff for people so they can heal themselves, you know, and help them move forward in their life. So anyways, yeah, like, you guys just have to believe in yourselves. And I want to say, when you run into things that cause you discomfort or cause you fear, like, you know, for example, if you are going to a networking event and that's something you've never done before and it feels so uncomfortable, you're like, oh my God, the idea of wanting to go network with random people, it just gives me ick. It just gives me the ick, right? Lean into that discomfort. Lean into it, right? Like, ooh, like, lean into it, you know? And get used to it, because life is uncomfortable. You have to get used to being uncomfortable. You have to get comfortable being uncomfortable when it serves you, right? Like, don't just run with that phrase, you know, just like as a matter of like a business perspective. Like, if you run into something different, like something you've never done before, lean into that, you know, take a risk. And if you fail, fuck yeah, because failing is normal. It's normal to fail. You know, let me tell y'all something. In middle school, I had this programming, this conditioning, and it wasn't just me, it was like the entire school. And our principal would get on the TV every single morning. Like, we'd have like this morning news, and it would hook up to all of our TVs in our classroom. Like, we used to have these like bulk TVs up in the corner, like ghetto, right? Anyway, and he'd get on the TV every morning, and he would say, failure is not an option. And I would just be thinking to myself, what a phrase to be molding young people's minds with. Like, failure is not an option? Like, you're literally programming us to be like unhealthily like perfection, like this idea of being perfect. Like, what the fuck is that, you know? What is that? Failure isn't an option. You know, the most successful, and I want to say high vibrational people in this world have failed so many times, and like, it's not talked about enough. Like, we need to talk about failing. I have failed so many times. My website used to be a yoga website, right? And I want to say I maybe had like one client like my entire time doing yoga, because like, I just didn't feel like yoga was supposed to be my thing. And like, the universe was like, hey, Gracen, like, this is not your main focus, right? Like, you can do this, but like, being a yoga instructor is not like what you're here to do. You know what I mean? It's like, you can help people heal through yoga by creating different things out of it, but you're not here to be just doing yoga. And so anyways, I had a website, and like, I didn't have any business, no clientele. Like, I was paying for marketing and advertising on Facebook, just all this stuff. I was spending all of this money, and I finally made a choice for myself. I said, you know what? I'm just going to accept that this isn't aligned with me right now, and I'm just going to take a break. I'm going to take a break from having a business. And so I did. And I went back and worked as a server, because I was still trying to figure out like how I wanted to go about my healing practice. Like, I wanted to figure out, okay, how can I set this up? How can I structure, you know, starting off healing someone's chakras? How can I start off by clearing their energy? Like, what can I do? What kind of system can I create for myself so that it can just like run automatically, right? Like when you go get a massage, like they have an assistant, like you go lay on the table and they'll start like in different areas of the body first, and then they'll be like, okay, like you have 5 minutes left, blah, 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 you know? So yeah, it's really just about having patience for yourself. Test the waters, test things out, go try new things, you know? You can do it all. You can have it all. If you want to be this like artist who, you know, is a painter or, you know, just like whatever, like you can do it whatever you want. You can be an artist and mix that with food and sound baths and like, I don't know, you could just get so creative. Like you don't have to be just one thing. You can be like yourself and with all the things combined, right? Like that was another thing. I had the biggest challenge labeling myself. I was like, I don't want to call myself a yoga instructor. I'm not a Reiki practitioner because I don't do Reiki. Like I connect to source, you know, in my sessions. I'm like, I'm not going to call myself a source healer. Like, what is that? Like, no. And then I just decided, like, you know what? I just decided I just want the simplest things. I'm an energy healer and teacher. My name is Gracen, and this is everything that I do. And I felt like by going by my name just allowed everything to be under this umbrella. Like I didn't have to label myself with something specific because it's like I don't have to label myself to just one thing. I don't have to attach myself to one thing. It's like I can just pull from like this pool of different things, right? Like it's this unique ability of mine to heal and teach others how to heal themselves. And so I just naturally like to combine a bunch of healing modalities together to teach people to heal themselves. So the best thing that I recommend for you is 1, go get a past life regression. 2, go figure out if, you know, the person who you're doing it from can channel like, hey, what is my life purpose? Or you can ask yourself, go into meditation and figure that out yourself. You'll get answers. You just have to listen. And yeah, I would start from there and, you know, learn how to do marketing. YouTube, it's free university. I went to college for 4 years, okay? And I still had to teach myself through YouTube and Khan Academy and other places. So YouTube is a great resource. There's tons of free videos on Marketing 101 and Entrepreneurship 101. Literally, the education is out there for free, y'all. Like, just go look it up. Just go Google it. It's there. Yeah. I'm trying to think, is there anything else I want to talk about? Yeah, I was going to say, like, just do one thing at a time. Like, set yourself up for success, like, one thing at a time. You know, if you have a computer, if you don't have a computer, like, start off by saving up for a computer, like a nice computer. And then if you feel like you're going to need a microphone or a webcam or, you know, a GoPro or a nice camera, save up for that and buy that. And then eventually you're going to have all the things that you need once you're ready to exit the matrix system. And then you're just going to be able to fully jump in. You're fully ready to just go. You have all the tools necessary. You have, you know, some savings built up, hopefully, because you've learned financial discipline and all the things, right? You're going to have to learn that in order to have a successful running business, because otherwise, dealing with those kinds of karmic lessons, like while you have, you know, you're doing $30,000 a month, that is going to suck. That's going to suck because you're going to have something come up that's going to like completely deplete your business 1 month, right? Like it's just going to leave you with $5,000 and it's going to suck. So make sure you learn those karmic lessons, guys. Like, learn how to be financially responsible. Learn financial discipline. Those things are important. Self-care is important. Boundaries are important. Leadership qualities are important. Yeah, having faith in yourself. And don't fucking listen to anybody else around you if they try to put your stuff down. I had a lot of people around me, like while I was building my business, even when I was just doing yoga. They said, oh, I'm not into that. Oh, I don't believe in that. You know, there's going to be people around you who are going to try to shit on you. And that's the universe testing you. That's the universe testing you, like, to see how bad you want what you want, okay? The universe is like, you know, Gracen, are you ready? Are you sure you're ready for this? Are you sure you're ready to stand strong in, like, what you're going to be doing, you know? Are you sure you're ready to handle this? You know, and now I definitely am. Like, before, it's like I wouldn't let people shit on me, but it's like they made me feel bad. They made me feel like I was a weirdo because of my psychic abilities. Like, I allowed them to make me feel down about myself. Why? Because I didn't love myself, I didn't honor my boundaries, and I was entertaining people who didn't believe in me. I was entertaining people who I wasn't aligned with. And that's going to be another thing. You guys, you might have to cut off some friendships, some family, relationships. I'm at the point in my life where the only family member I talk to is my mom. That's it. And it's sad. It's really sad that it has to be that way. But, my guides told me, like, hey, not everybody can go with you. Like, your mission is so important. And the kind of life that you're, like, wanting to live, like, those people can't be around you while you're building up. Because they're around you to drag you down. They're around you to drag you down to their level. Have you noticed that? I'm sure you guys have experienced that in one form or another. Like, someone sees you doing good things, they see you growing, they see you moving up, leveling up, and it pisses them off. It makes them angry because they know they will never be at your level, and they know that you're going up and that there's no stopping you, and that intimidates them. It intimidates them. And so what do? They want to put you down in whatever way they can. They want to make you feel bad about yourself. So they discourage you from, like, wanting to be better than them is how they perceive it, right? I used to, like, never understand that. And some people, I'm like, why does this person fucking hate me? Like, why don't they like me? And it's literally because they were intimidated by me. They were so intimidated by how confident I was. That's another thing. Confidence is intimidating to people who are super insecure, If you're confident in yourself, like truly confident in yourself, you're not going to be insecure around other people. You're going to love and honor the different diversity around you. You're going to be like, wow, like, this woman's beautiful. You're not going to be like, oh, fucking bitch, like, she's so ugly. Like, oh, I hate her. Like, you're not going to be feeling that way. And trust me, there's a lot of guys who are intimidated by confident women. They will see you and they'll be like, how can I put her down? How can I make her feel like shit about herself so she can be at my level? So she can see how I feel, right? It's like they try to make it about them. They're so intimidated by you and your energy that they're like, how can I make it about me? They're such a pick-me. Oh, I can't stand pick-me, guys. Oh, my gosh. Don't even get me started. I'm not going to go on that tangent. But, yeah. So don't let the pick-me's put you down. Don't let the dusties put you down. Don't let the haters put you down. Don't let the family members who are fucking stagnant put you down. Don't let the family members who are in power dynamics put you down. Don't, start upping your cutoff game. Up it. Cut these people off, Get unapologetic about it. This is my Sagittarius energy I'm going to share with you guys, okay? Just tap into it at any time. You know what? If you guys are having, issues cutting people off, just be like, all right, how can I tap into some Sagittarius energy and cut this person off? Unapologetically, like, quickly. Because let me tell you, I've got that, like, so good. It's so easy for me. Thank God. But, yeah. You guys have to get good at cutting people off, because if you really want success in your business and financial freedom bad enough, and you want to help the world and you want to give back and make money doing it, I'm telling you, I'm giving you guys the ingredients right now. Self-care, boundaries, your own structure, your own discipline, upping your cutoff game, honoring your boundaries, honoring your, misalignments with different people. And another thing is, you're going to know when something's out of alignment for you, because it's going to cause chaos and confusion and discomfort in a bad way. Like, you're going to feel nauseous. You're going to feel way out of alignment. Like, your body is going to tell you, like, hey, this is not for you anymore. This is time to let this relationship go. It's time to let this job go. It's time to let this family member go. It's time to let this friendship go. Even if it's something you've had for years. Even if you guys were like sisters, okay? Sometimes those people cannot go with you. And it's sad. It's sad, and you can always love people from a distance, but you guys are going to have to start, being brave and courageous for yourself. Start making those choices. Don't be afraid to make those choices. You're going to deal with the ups and the downs. You're going to have highs and you're going to have lows. That is just the reality of living in this binary, polarizing universe that we live in. And I'm not going to tell you it's all rainbows and unicorns, okay? There are moments in time where it's all rainbows and unicorns, and there's moments in times where you feel just crippling, like, degrading depression and sadness and just all the things, right? Like, you're revisiting your life, and that's just you going through a rebirth. You're just rebirthing yourself into something bigger. That's what I believe. I believe every time we do that, we literally transition and rebirth ourselves into something bigger. And so we start reaching our highest self reality, faster at that point, because we've just been through so much, and We know what we want, and we know what makes us happy. We know what lights us up. We know what doesn't align for us. We're not afraid to set hard boundaries. We're not afraid to assert ourselves. We're not afraid to, not people please, right? Like, those are some good things to do and to embody so that you're a strong business leader, Anyways, I hope that helped you guys for the past 30 minutes. This was kind of long. I was not expecting to rant this long. But yeah, I hope that gave you a little bit of insight on what you guys can do for yourselves and your own journey, and just a little bit about how I got started and all the things that I've learned from getting started. So thank you guys so much for being here, and I can't wait to see y'all on the next episode. Bye for now.